right, welcome back, and this is going to be the latest thing we're going to take a look at. This is a reference 650 FETR AM/FM receiver made by Quadraflex. And this comes from my friend's shop who has a backlog situation right now and asked me to take a piece or two to have a look at for him. I picked this out just simply because I'd never seen one of these, never worked on one of them, and obviously it looks 80-ish, so got a few years on it. It'll be interesting to see if or who it was made by. Maybe it's just rebranded from some other brand name. So we'll, as always, come in and have a look at the front and the back of the unit, and we'll open it up and find out what's working and what's not working. So give me a minute for that and we will get started. All right, coming back in, we'll start over on the left-hand side. And I still do not know Quadraflex. I don't know what that is. I have never seen that brand name before, so must be limited availability for this, or maybe, I don't know, specialty market. Selector switch gives you the norms, AM, FM, phono 1, phono 2, and a tape 3 input. It'll give you 2 tape monitors here, or 1? Is it 2 or 1? Tape 1, tape 2, okay. And then a dubbing switch between the two of them. Mode switch, followed by loudness. Of course, the bass and treble turnover, high filter switch, and then detinted. These have that nice detinted feel to them for the bass and the treble. Tuning in the middle, you can tell that there's a tuning scale back there, and does seem to be moving fine, no trouble. Turnover, and I assume that's for the presence, mid-range control. Obviously couldn't squeeze it in here, so put it over this way. Balance, and the speaker A and speakers B, only the B is first and then the A, so okay. Got an overload LED, followed by the power switch on the right, and volume control on the right as well, and a headphones jack. So I don't know, just kind of based on the way that this is laid out, it looks like there's a lot of things that are in opposite order from what we would normally find. Power is normally over here on this side. The selection switch is normally over here. So not sure what's up with that. Again, maybe some kind of specialty market. All right, let's flip it around, and it's heavy because there's a big transformer in it. So let's take a look at the back and see. Now from this perspective here with the fuse and the 2 outlets, this looks very Radio Shack-ish from back in the day. That was my first, thought, is maybe this is made by the company that made Radio Shack's receivers back in this time. I believe that's Foster Electronics, maybe. And then we got our speaker switches, or speaker connection points, and this again, usually something over here on the other side, but not in this particular receiver. So connections for the 2 tape decks, and then the 3rd tape deck, phono 1 and phono 2 with a ground, and then the same type of connection points for the antenna as we have for the speaker binding post there. AM antenna As always, let's see what we can see in here. Let's see. SK 134, 124, 2SK. It's either a 2 or a 3. I can't make it out. Looks like it's a 2. Let's see if we can get a line on another one. 2SJ 49. So MOSFET. Well, that would probably be the reason that we have FET mentioned in the model number here. So that must be where they're coming up with that from. Hitachi outputs on the ones that I've seen, are they all Hitachi though? Has anything been changed? That is Hitachi. And that is as well. And so is that one, and then the final one too, looks like. Well, looks like we're dealing with all original outputs, and interestingly enough, let's start here, I guess. Let's see. LEDs for the tuning or function lights, and this is LEDs for power meters. But this is a kind of an odd thing here, the way they did this. The ICs are soldered to this side of the board. There's probably some solder connections in the front too, I would imagine. And then the metering controls, or the metering adjustments to get the meters lined up right. A couple of boxes here with lamps in it. One looks to be original and maybe one not. I don't know. And then of course we got the standard dial lamps that were very popular for the day. Looks like somebody's already kind of got in there and tacked on some different bulbs, soldered those on. That is definitely not factory for sure. And they did say the lights flicker. This may be something that contributed to that. So let's get around here on this side and see what we got. Okay. Amplifier section laid out as you would expect. Only difference is I've never seen Honda branded emitter resistors, 0.47 ohm, 5 watts. And of course all the capacitors that were popular for the day are those Elna, what are those? Unicon, I've seen those too. And these are Nippon maybe? So no, those are Unicon as well, so, okay. And again, the way this is laid out is very reminiscent to what you would find in Radio Shack from back in this day. Tuner section in one board, and then regulator section on a side-mounted board. Very, very popular for Radio Shack to do this, so. I'm assuming this is going to be the preamp for the phono. Yeah. Interesting. Huge transformer. Very heavy. Okay. Well, first thing we'll do, let's get it hooked up and get some speakers hooked up to it and find out what's working and what's not working. And like I said, the information that was on the service invoice was that the unit hums and has flickering lights. So give me a second here and we'll get set up and get it plugged up. All right, coming back, and the unit powered up and working. And I don't hear any hum here at all. So I'm not sure what's up, but those lights are very dim to me. So got this guy wired in all, and this doesn't look like it's been messed with. That's a real light right there from the factory. That doesn't look like it's been messed with, but man, that sure is dim. I don't know. So I guess we'll look into that, but not seeing that would have come from the factory being that dark. That seems very dark. So I'm not sure. Because across the room you can't even see it. So other than that, it is working. Let's turn it down and tweak it back to the station. We got a stereo indicator, but it ain't working. So pulled that out. Can't tell. Looks like the bulb is bad, so that might just be that as an issue. We definitely got dirty controls, no question about that, because that's cutting in and cutting out. Check out the power meter one. So that would be tape 3, volume up, and I don't hear nothing but just some static when you're messing with the controls. I don't hear any hum at all. So I'm not sure. Not sure what's going on with this, but it does appear to be working. So let's look into the FM stereo indicator situation and see if we can figure that out. But other than that, I don't know. I'm not hearing any hum at all. Every input is quiet. So, yeah.
Shell 97X.
Yeah, we'll look into the stereo indicator and see if we can figure out what's going on with that. Give me a second. So. All right, coming back and finding out that this receiver is all about the lamps. And I had originally thought that this right here was a factory lamp, but as you can tell, it's been soldered in and it's wrong. And this one, quite obviously wrong. And this one, soldered in and also not the right one. This is the only factory lamp left, and of course it's bad. And what I did was I jumpered in a 6-volt lamp, and a 6-volt lamp in this size would be exactly what we would need to illuminate this front panel. And I noticed that the meter bulbs this one is the one that was replaced as an 8-volt. And the one that's in there that's correct is a 6-volt. So that's kind of where we're at with this. Also, stereo lamp. Subbed one of those in there. And got that working. And did a little digging on Hi-Fi Engine and didn't really come up with anything as far as a service manual, but there is a brochure on there concerning this stuff, and I don't ever remember seeing any of this stuff back in the day. So it must have been a market that was maybe on specific to one coast or the other. I don't know. I don't remember ever seeing any of this stuff. So, but apparently the receiver is about 65 watts per channel, because that is the one right there, 650 and 65 watts per channel. MOSFET transistors. Pumping it up, pumping up the MOSFET thing. Oh yeah. Well, I think what's really going to be left here is just speaking with the customer about the lamps and getting those all replaced to the correct thing and finding the correct thing. Still no hum. It's been playing for quite a while, so. Definitely going to need the controls clean like we'd mentioned before, but for the most part, this thing is doing excellent. Amp is nice and cool. It's been on for quite a while now with no trouble, so. I don't know. I was looking here too. It looks like there may have been some kind of covers on these. I mean, I see there's a screw hole deal there, so I don't know if there was a cover on this at one time, which would have forced more light towards the front, but I'm not sure. So definitely talking to the customer about lamp replacement, control cleaning, and get more information as far as the humming is concerned, because I'm not hearing anything like that on any source that works the way it's supposed to. So we may or may not see this one again. I may not mess around with doing a part 2 on this. This is basically just a control cleaning and lamp changing. There isn't really anything that challenging about it, so may not see this one again. But anyway, thank you guys for checking it out, and we'll see if we can dig up something a little bit more challenging next time.